Isn't that true?
Gen- Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday night. It is around the 7:30 p.m. mark. So what that means is you're getting another episode of the Play Caller Sports Talk Show, live and we interactive. So I'm joined as always by my co-host, and that would be Stephen Box. Stephen, what is good tonight, man?
What's good? What's good, man? Just anxious to see if my Lakers going, do some stuff to get us back in contention. Allow us to compete with your Nuggets. You and Jordan's Nuggets. Just coming this season. So
All right, and also we have Jordan joining us. The elusive Jordan has actually joined us this week. What's up,
finally,
Jordan?
I know, right? It feels like it's been forever. I'm good, man. I'm still on the Rocky Mountain High. I mean, you and I are still enjoying this championship we have.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we are also being joined by Rod from Rod Uncensored.
I
So,
appreciate it for y'all to have me on, man. I appreciate that.
funny thing here. So now we have on two Nuggets fans and we have on two Lakers fans.
Oh man.
Hey, we're
So
even.
40
That's all
Yeah,
that matters.
So for the Lakers fan, as well as for everyone else, there's just something I need to get out there real quick. So let's do that right about now.
To win the NBA championship. And here we go. Lowry looks in. Inbound. Over to Strus. Lowry three. That one misses. Rebound down to KCP. 8 seconds left to go. Casey's across the timeline. And he'll dribble it out. The 47-year wait is over. The Denver Nuggets stand on top of the NBA world. They are champions. And Nuggets fans from sea to shining sea can rest or die in peace.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we don't forget that magical moment that happens.
Hey, cool. Just the first one. Cool. Chill, man. Act like you've been there before.
We haven't. That's the thing. 47
We haven't
years,
been
man.
there before, so why should we act like we've been there before?
while they are acting rather appropriately for the
Yeah,
Nuggets,
yeah.
they've actually been there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna act like
man.
I've been there before because we haven't.
Exactly.
I was being
3 years ago-
sarcastic.
3 years ago, if you say you was a Denver Nuggets fan, nobody even questioned you. People said there's nobody that would lie and say they're a Denver Nuggets fan. Now all of a sudden, all those long-suffering fans like myself, like Jordan, oh, are you a real fan? If I was on a different show, I would have something for that, but we don't do that on here, at least not yet. So I'm just gonna say,
Keep it faithful.
bruh, why would we lie? There's nothing to lie about.
You're definitely right on that.
Well, gentlemen, we have had a rather wild start to well, we got the NBA draft that happened. So let's do it this way. We're going to talk a little bit about the draft real quick. Then we'll go ahead and slide into the free agency news. And news will be slided out even while we're talking about the draft. So in regards to the draft, I think everyone saw the draft. Everyone's had a chance to look at the draft. So let me ask you guys this. And Ross, since you're our guest for the evening, I'll start with you. What 1 to 2 picks in the first round do you think were the best fits for those players?
I like the Wemby. I think he went to the right organization with Popovich, and he got so much, knowledge with that organization with Tim Duncan and the old heads that's lying around, that are experts. So I think that was a great move. And I like the Scoot Henderson move because you know what he kind of remind me of, cool. And I know people don't think about him, but he kind of remind me of like a big Brandon Jennings. You remember Brandon? Brandon used to, pick people off, jam, two hands. That's why I kind of feel for him. I think it's definitely going to be a good move for the long term when Damian, because Damian want to get out of there. So I think that's a great move. You got Simmons and him. I think that was a great move. But this another pick I thought was great, Jet Howard too. I think Jet Howard for Magic is great. I think his game kind of remind me of like a Rashard Lewis a little bit. You know how Rashard can come off screen, shoot it, and also create his own shot. I think that's going to be a great move for the Magic. That's just a couple I got.
All right, Jordan, what about you?
Honestly, I have to agree with him on Scoot Henderson. That's the same one I had because you don't know what's going to happen with Damian Lillard when he leaves. This guy, I mean, he was in the G League. He put up 16.5 points per game and 6.5 assists per game in the G League. So he's already NBA ready. Once Damian Lillard goes, at least you have a scorer there. That's basically the only guy that I saw that I actually liked. Of course, you know, the first pick with the Spurs. The only thing that I have against that pick, though, it's a great pick right now. But my question, though, is and I mentioned this to the Queen of Hoops, Megan Price, last week, is some of these big guys just, you know, they get hurt too easily. I'm just hoping that he doesn't. But otherwise, I think it's a great, solid pick.
Only thing I worry about, we saw what Shaq did last year. He was all nicked up, hurt. He got a similar body type. You know what I mean? And I worry about that body type. Somebody under 200 pounds, man, 7 foot with them thin legs. He got legs like my daughter, who's 8. You know what I mean? So I just worry about his body keeping up for 82 games.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You hit it right on the head. I mean, he does have skinny legs. He needs to bulk up. He said he's not going to. And can he last a whole year? That's my only question.
Yeah, I think that's a fair question to ask, Jordan. For me, I think a really good fit was Walker going to Indiana at 9. You know, they needed defense really badly. That's something he's going to be able to step in and do. And even if his offense doesn't necessarily translate right away, and it takes him a little time to kind of find his footing there, he's going to be able to make his mark on defense because it's a lot easier to transition to play defense in NBA than it is to play offense. The fact that he's actually going to be with Miles Turner, I think is also a really good fit for him on the offensive side of the ball. But I think really the fact that he's going to be able to step in and be dependent on mostly on the defensive side that first season is what's going to really make this a great fit.
I dig that. So I am going to go a little bit different, right? So I'm going to actually go with the Denver Nuggets first round pick, Julian Strawther. And the reason I'm going to say that this is a good pick is because I think on the surface, people thought that Bruce Brown was coming back, right? But I think the reason that we made this pick was we knew we needed a big man. We knew we needed a guy who could, have some versatility in case what happened today happened. And that's, losing Bruce Brown, who was, a big piece of the team. So being able to go out in the draft and get a guy who may never be a star player, but can still kind of fill that role, at least to an extent, along with Jalen Pickett, who was picked number 32, I think was a great idea for a team that didn't have a lot of glaring holes, but knew that there was a high probability that one of your better players was going to no longer be part of your organization because of, money demands. I mean, he said right there, time to get paid. And I mean, I'm not mad at the man. You're supposed to get paid. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, another pick I liked actually was number 4, Amen Thompson, who is a point guard going to Houston. So the reason that's important is that's the position when you're looking at that young core that they needed. And they needed a guy to grow with the other players, right? You can bring in a veteran, but if you bring in a veteran, he's going to be at a different level than the other guys. Now you're bringing in a guy who played with the NBA Overtime Elite. So he has some, I guess you want to say, experience playing against men, against at least semi-professional players. So getting him at that position to fill that one of those last holes that you had, obviously everyone needs a big, but one of those last holes that you had, I think that was a really great pickup for them as well. And to add my weight on Victor Wembanyama, this guy came in. This guy said, I'm not, maybe other percentage to lose weight, I'm not putting on weight. That's the mentality he's going to have. Hopefully some of those guys that he says are going to be his mentors, like David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Sean Elliott, etc., are going to be like, look, man, get in the weight room, put on some mass, especially in the lower body, because he's not prepared to play center. He's not prepared to play power forward. in the NBA.
Mm-mm.
If he's gonna look like that, he better do like Kevin Durant and play small forward, because you don't want to get down low and be expected to bang and go out 4s and 5s in the NBA at your size. My daughter's 16. My daughter would house Victor Wembanyama in size. I mean, obviously he's gonna be taller than her, but as far as like, you know, power and mass, she destroyed that dude.
I'm just saying, you got to go against guys like Big Cat. You know what I mean? Joker. You know what I mean? Joker. That's too many people plus 200 plus bodying you. You know what I mean? In the low post. I just can't see it.
Look, forget about the big guys he's gonna go against. What about some of these small and power forwards who are actually bigger body than him?
Yeah,
they're gonna get underneath him for these rebounds, and they're gonna take this dude out.
Right, I agree with you.
Especially getting rebounds. You know, it get dirty under there. Getting rebounds, elbows, and you know what I mean. So I just don't see it, man. I think he might get hurt like Shaq Holmgren in the, you know what I mean, his rookie season, man. I can see him missing some games.
And I hope he doesn't. And I'm not trying to put that on anybody, but I'm just saying, you look at the size. That's not built to be an NBA center. That's not built to be an NBA power forward.
No, not
You're
at
gonna
all.
have to play on the wing. You are going to have to play on the wing if you're gonna be 200 pounds at 7'3", almost 7'4", and you're only 200 pounds. I will take you in the post and I will push you under the goal every play.
There must be some French treats he don't eat. Maybe he's on a keto diet or something. I don't.
Bro.
The only way he's going to be successful is to put on weight, and he has said he's not going to. Like you guys are saying, he's going to get pushed out in the low post. There's no way at the size he can be successful.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else that needs to be said about that. That is ridiculousness on his part. If that's how he's going to rock, it's going to be an ugly injury-filled career, I think. But let's hope that he understands. Maybe these guys, like I said, are supposed to mentor him or going to get in his ear and are going to make sure that he understands. And now that we got a couple starting to get our viewers rolling in as well, we go make sure that we introduce ourselves to some for the first time, reintroduce ourselves to others, and then we're going to come back and we're going to bust into this free agency that's going crazy. And if you're watching in the chat, hey, any thoughts you have on the draft, anybody you thought was a great pick, anybody you thought was not so good of a pick, hey, hop in the comments, let us know your thoughts. But moving on to the bulk of the show today, because, man, free agency came hard, right? Free agency came through like a wrecking ball. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through some of the picks that have happened. Not picks. I'm still in the draft, but some of the signings that have happened, and we can do a little bit of talking about some of those. May not care too much, but at least give an opportunity to talk about a lot of the ones that have been confirmed at this point. So obviously, a lot of guys received qualifying offers, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and throw out the names of those players and the money they got real quick. If you guys have any thoughts on any of these guys, then definitely feel free to give them. If not, we can move on. So y'all's Lakers extended Austin Reeves a $2.2 million qualifying offer. They also extended Rui Hachimura a $7.7 million qualifying offer. The Knicks gave Cam Johnson an $8.5 million qualifying offer. Trailblazers gave Matisse Thybulle a $6.3 million qualifying offer.
That's a good move by them.
The Hornets extended. Yeah, the Hornets extended PJ Washington. They gave him an $8.5 million qualifying offer. They also gave Miles Bridges a $7.9 million qualifying offer. So I have to stop right here. And I have to say, this is the idiocy that is the Charlotte Hornets. You just extended two guys that play small forward, and then you drafted another small forward. Way to go. Great job, Charlotte. That is why you guys get the second pick all the time, and you blow it. Great job on not getting what you needed. Wonderful. Way to go. The Hornets also extended Theo Maledon. They gave him a $1.8 million qualifying offer. And then the Celtics extended Grant Williams an $8.4 million qualifying offer. So any thoughts on any of those qualifying offers? I know, Rod, you had a thought at least on the Lakers qualifying offers, I'm sure.
I think that Rui Hachimura move was a great pickup. Again, me give him sign him back, man. I'm glad we got rid of Mo Bamba. Thank God for that. But I'm glad they re-signed Reeves too. Reeves, the pump fake champ himself, man. I appreciate, he had a great playoff run. So we gotta, give him salute that, and they took care of him. So I'm glad about that. But Steph, I have a quick question for you though. What's your thoughts about the draft picks we got? I like that guard. Do you like that guard we picked up?
Yeah, man. To me, when I look at what the Lakers needed this offseason, I feel like we need a true number 5, right? Because you need somebody who can play the 5 and let Anthony Davis be at the 4 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big need. The other thing you need is defensive perimeter guys and 3-point shooters. And that's what I feel like we did a good job with in the draft, was we went out and got guys that can be those 3-and-D players.
Okay. Like, what about your thoughts about it? I'm seeing rumors talking about Brook Lopez. What's your thoughts about that to get him in?
I mean, I think it would be a good fit. The question is going to be financially what can you do? Because remember, these qualifying offers on Reeves and Hachimura they're restricted agents. So people are going to come out with bigger deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have to match those. And then the question is going to be, as much as you might want to keep those guys, are you going to be able to do that? Are you going to be able to get Lopez for the $12.4 million exception? Is that going to be enough to actually get him? So those are some of the question marks. If we can pull it off, I would love it. I think it would be a great fit.
Okay.
Any other Lakers-related questions you have for Stephen Robb?
No, I got no more. I'm good now. Thank you.
All right, no problem. So Jordan, since we're talking about our team, what are your thoughts on the Nuggets draft?
And honestly, I like them because a lot of these guys, you only see 1 or 2 years, in college, and now we drafted guys that have college experience. I do agree with you on the our first draft pick, the Julian Strawther pick, and Jalen Pickett. I mean, these are just guys that are gonna add to the depth of the bench, and of course, Hunter Tyson at number 37. These are just bench guys, but I definitely agree with you that Julian is going to get more playing time because we didn't know what was going to happen with Bruce Brown. And now that he's gone, he could actually fill in that role.
Also, thank you, Cool, for Maxwell Lewis. I appreciate that.
Thank you for who?
Maxwell Lewis. You know what I mean?
I don't even know who that is. So
y'all had him, and then y'all traded to the Lakers.
I have
you must. I don't even know who that is. So
it was a draft pick.
Thank you.
So
thank you for taking a guy that fans don't even know about. Thank you. Thank you for freeing up that little bit of contract money for us. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
I have no idea who that dude is.
I'm sitting here confused too.
Yeah, I've never heard that name before, sir.
He's talking about the guy that we drafted.
Yeah, y'all drafted him, and then y'all gave us the pick, gave him the player. You didn't see that?
Oh, no problem.
I appreciate that.
It's just a draft pick. I mean, we're set in our ways, so
yeah, no problem. You can have him. Thank you for whatever future things you gave us for a guy we probably didn't want. So thank you. Yeah, there might be a couple of dollars we can get Brook Lopez to come over and be play some power forward with Giannis. Nah, he wouldn't do that. I'm just kidding. I think Brook's going back to Milwaukee.
It would make sense. I mean,
I'm just worried about Chris Middleton.
Nobody else ever let him do. Oh, he already signed.
Yeah, he already signed.
Are you already re-signed?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was gonna leave. I was hearing reports he was leaving.
Man, we reports about all kinds of stuff, man.
But yeah, it'll be some.
Gotta be careful with him.
Depends on who you're getting the reports from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reports
come from quote-unquote sources. And sources are not always.
So is it true that Draymond resigned?
Accurate.
Yeah, that is true. Draymond definitely
4?
resigned for $100 million, I believe.
4 years. Yep. 4 years, $100 million.
There's a couple of re-signs that we definitely talk about here.
Ooh, Boris Diaw, where are you right now? You could have got some money in today's league.
Yeah, very true. So we'll start here. We'll talk about some re-signings here. So we'll start with Naz Reid. So Naz Reid re-signed with the Timberwolves. I think it would have been better fit his career to go somewhere else, unless he knows that some of those other crowded big men in front of him are going to be gone. He did get a pretty nice, sizable contract, 3 years, $42 million for a guy who doesn't start. So, hey, I mean, not knock you for, again, taking the money.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, your thoughts, Cole, are exactly what I was just about to say, too. So,
right. I don't think you guys really care too much about the Naz Reid signing, huh?
Not really. I just worry about that locker room, man. There was just a lot of turmoil during that playoff, so I don't think they're gonna be much to do anything. The coach can't handle that locker room, so I don't see them moving at all next season.
The locker room's not really the issue. It's all the draft picks they gave up to get one member of that locker room.
Rudy Gobert.
Yep.
And also the fact that Karl Anthony Towns says he's a transitional player. A transcendent player.
I have yet to see that. Exactly.
In his own mind is the only place he is.
You might need a Dave Chappelle time machine to see this, because I haven't seen it.
Look, at least he weighs more than 200 pounds, though.
Well, that's true, too. It's a good point.
I don't know, though. Wembanyama might already be tougher mentally than Cat, though.
I mean, mentally, yes, but
yeah,
he can be mentally tough on the sideline, giving motivational speeches.
I'm just tired of all them threes.
With his leg propped up or something. All right, so the Bulls signed Vucevic to a 3-year, $60 million extension.
Too much.
I honestly like the deal for him. If you ask me, I mean, the guy averaged 17.6 points and 11 rebounds per game. I mean, who else were you going to get to fit that spot? I think that's a smart move by the Bulls, even though they may have given it too much. The fact of the matter is I don't know how much he was going to get on the open market, and they didn't want to chance it by having him go onto the open market. So I thought it was just smart to keep him.
If you believe that he's going to help the team win, probably think it's a smart deal. If you're on the other camp, that's like, I mean, he's okay, but he's not worth that kind of money, then you probably like suckers. We'll see how it pans out. Steve, any thoughts on this one?
I mean, I kind of agree with what you guys are saying, right? It's the numbers suggest he was worth keeping. You probably overpaid for him, but that was the price of you not risking him go out and get a bigger offer on the open market.
Can't argue with that.
Like buying a lamp out of, from Rent Center. You know you're gonna pay.
We still got those.
So, I guess so, man. So the Sacramento Kings agreed to a 3-year, $54 million extension with Harrison Barnes. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I honestly thought it was a smart move to keep him, just because you saw what the Kings did last year. They got into the playoffs for the first time in a long time.
Forever.
Exactly. And they're trying to build towards a championship, so you had to kind of keep him. I know he scored 15 points and grabbed 4.5 rebounds, but it's just a guy for them to keep because they're still building towards what you and I have called championship window. That's what they're building towards. So I thought it was smart to keep him, especially with his experience.
Rod?
I really don't mind. The move. He's a great locker room guy. He's pretty solid. But I just wish Sabonis could get his heart like his daddy and play like his daddy. But I don't think that's going to happen. But,
He definitely ain't his daddy.
No.
Still?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's a good move. You've got to really try to keep the young core together as much as possible. Keep some veteran guys on the roster and try to build. And then, will he still be there when they actually are contending? We'll see. But, for right now, it's a good move.
Hey, another thing, and I'm going to talk about this often throughout the picks of the signings. There's one thing that we got to remember. A lot of these guys already have rings. So Harrison Barnes already got rings with Golden State.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's true.
Do I go after the money or do I try to go somewhere and take less money to get more rings? I already got a ring. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna be at the
that's-
end of my career trying to get a ring. I already got one.
Yeah, and that's why I say like that veteran presence, right? That guy who
Yeah.
has that experience. Because when you do start to get close, that's a guy in the locker room that you're gonna want to have.
Very true, very true. And as Rod asked us a few minutes ago, Draymond Green and the Golden State Warriors have agreed to a 4-year, $100 million contract. What do you guys think about that?
I honestly didn't think he was going to go anywhere after they got rid of Jordan Poole. They were just, they had that money to give him leverage, so they gave him the deal, and we know what he can do on the defensive side of the ball. So I just thought
I just don't think it's the
Warriors.
same defender, though. I don't think he's the same defender.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but he is one of the Warriors' best defenders, even though that he may not be where he was a few years ago.
Just hung up with this. I agree with you, Jordan. As soon as they moved Jordan Poole, you saw this coming from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
The Golden State Warriors are that abused woman who refuses to leave. When it comes to
yo.
I'm serious. Man, just, like no matter what this dude does, they will not let go.
I mean, it's hard to argue with Steven at that point.
Jeez, eat the K in it, man. Jeez. Oh man.
I got cool speechless.
That doesn't happen very often.
Jeez.
That never happens.
That was interesting. I'm just gonna say it was the only move that made sense. I don't think Draymond goes anywhere else except for maybe one or two other places where the skills that he brings to the table would be appreciated and used the way that Golden State uses them. So I think that was a good place for him to end up.
I just worry. Where's the 5 at? Did he have 5?
Hey, they gonna flip a Chris Paul for a 5. But that's a whole different conversation.
They don't really need a 5. They're a bunch of shooters. But yeah, I understand what you're saying because they need someone down low. But when
they
you
need
can
a 5
outshoot,
to beat the better teams in the league because you can't
that's
outshoot.
true. That's definitely
the
true.
better teams.
Yeah, but they'll still be a playoff team no matter what.
Yeah, but
probably.
I mean, they want to win championships. I don't think they brought Draymond Green back. Pay luxury tax.
The thing is, they're not
Chris
playing
Paul
defense. Yeah, the thing is, they're not playing defense as a team. They will the way they were before.
Mm-hmm. No, I would agree with.
I just worry about what you're going to give Clay now. What you going to give Clay when that deal's up? You going to give him 150?
Would you like my answer? Would you like my answer, sir?
Yeah, go ahead, cool.
A position in the front office.
You better Sean Livingston him?
That's what I would give him with his contract over.
I can't argue
I don't
with
know if y'all
that.
have different answers, but that's my answer.
I can't argue with that one. It depends on how much longer Clay wants to play, too. I mean, yeah, you could put him in the front office to help, mentor the team. It would make sense.
He's going to be a shooting coach? That's what you say?
There you go. Yeah, that would make sense.
Oh,
I would
man.
his contract's over.
Man.
All right, so another sneaky signing for Sacramento, and the theme of keeping their pieces together, they re-signed Trey Lyles to a contract as well. So, I don't think that's going to be a big money deal, obviously, but, another smart move for the team. Bringing in another guy that's part of the team and knows what they want to do and can help them continue to try to progress in the Western Conference. You guys have any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, good move. I mean, obviously,
Nah,
see what
so.
when the numbers come out, we'll see if it's still a good move. But on paper, I think it makes sense.
Man, it's not going to be high numbers. I mean, it's backup. Backups don't get high money. So the Cavs re-signed Karis LeVert to a 2-year, $32 million contract. You guys thoughts on that, Rod?
Cleveland know how to waste some money. But I guess it's an alright move. But I it is what it is. You know what I mean? That's how they want to spend their money. I think they could have got something a little bit better in the market, but
I pretty much
Wasn't
have
chemistry, knowing the system and everything, doesn't it have some merit when you sign the guy? I mean, we're talking about $16 million a year for 2 years.
Yeah, he must feel like you said, there is chemistry there, and Cavs again are one of those teams in the East that are building something. So, I mean, $16 million, you could probably have gotten someone better in the open market. But again, you want to keep these guys because they know the system. So, I think it's a pretty solid move.
Is it gonna push you? Where's it gonna push you in the season in the playoffs? You think? You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to build to be, you know what I mean, contend in the East. So I don't think it's gonna help you contend.
No, not at all. You're going to be a playoff team, but not a championship
Well,
team.
I mean, what $32 million, what 2-year, $32 million contract is going to help you contend?
Well, that's true. None.
That's not the range for moves to help you contend. That's the range for guys that may be like a fringe starter. They're going to play maybe some time on the bench, maybe play when other guys aren't playing and help you get through that 82-game season. That's not, this is not a move that was made, obviously, to push them further in the playoffs, unless maybe he catches fire, because he is a guy that at one point was one of the better scorers in the league. Injuries have derailed him, and you never know if he gets back. But I mean, I don't think it's a bad move. I maybe would have tried to go a little lower on the number, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. This like, I think the number was too high for me personally. You know what I mean? Just better on promise, and you know what I mean, having good chemistry. I don't think that's.
I mean, I feel like any deals that we talk about tonight, you can pretty much say the number's too high.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, it's the first day of free agency. Everything is going to almost be an overpay, right? I mean, there's going to be maybe a couple of deals that's not, but most deals are going to be overpaid. So
Exactly.
well,
I mean, that is
speaking
what
of
it is.
that,
But let me just throw this out. So when we talk about kind of the chemistry and knowing the team and all that kind of stuff, I think sometimes we get so caught up in names and stats and all this other stuff that we forget the guys do bring intangible things to the table that have absolutely nothing to do with the box score. And that's what they know that we don't, right? They know what he is at practice. They know what he is in the locker room. They know what he is to the organization and the community. That's what they're paying for.
very well said, sir. I was going to say, along the lines of your first comment, this is one of those deals that you were referring to, at least in my opinion. That was a reasonable deal. Kyle Kuzma and the Washington Wizards agreed to a 4-year, $102 million contract. And then you're going to be pairing him with Jordan Poole. So you got two guys who, should be able to give you some solid scoring. You're probably going to throw them in at the 1 and the 2, I would assume, and allow them to kind of run things and be that new duo in Washington. It didn't cost you a boatload of cash to keep him. Obviously, didn't cost you a boatload just getting rid of a guy that you weren't going to use anyway, and Chris Paul to get, some other guys in as well. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this Kyle Kuzma to the Wizards, back to the Wizards deal?
I think that says it all. We got no thoughts.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a deal that makes sense, right? Like you said, I mean, money wise, it's not that bad really when you consider the amount of money a lot of guys are getting nowadays. And Kuzma is a guy who is still fairly, early in his career. He's getting better and better. There's reason for them to believe that he's going to continue to get better. And so their hope is that 2 or 3 years from now, this deal looks like an absolute steal.
I would agree with you, Steven. I mean, he's staying in the system, and that's all you want. Again, they're a team that they were the 12th seed this year. I don't think they're going to be, a title contender necessarily, or not a playoff contender, I should say. But at least they're going to keep, Kyle Kuzma for that long to actually try to help them get to the playoffs when he continues to improve his game.
You got a team, like Washington, you have to, at some point, right? You have to just make moves. Hopefully something pans out for you. You can't just keep restarting to hit the reset button every 2 years.
Right.
At some point, you have to try to build something.
That is a fair assessment. Rod, you got any thought?
You know what I mean? Like everybody said, the Wizards are a small market, so you know what I mean. I'm good for them for resigning them.
Fair enough. So Kobe White and the Chicago Bulls agreed to terms on a 3-year, $40 million contract. So to me, this is a head scratcher from the dollar amount and the fit. I don't see why the Bulls would want Kobe White back. I don't see why Kobe White would want to be on the Bulls any longer. He played sometimes he didn't. When Lonzo Ball didn't play, they went out and started grabbing Pat Bev and other guys they brought in at the point guard position. Starting casters are not traditionally point guards over him, but he's back on the team. I guess money talks. You guys have any thoughts on that, or we can move on?
I think.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Cole, you hit it right on the head. I got nothing to add other than what you just said. So,
I mean, unless they just promised him that they're going to give him more opportunities this year, I don't understand it.
I think Lonzo is done, man.
All right.
I think Lonzo is done, so it makes sense on that level. I don't think that need. I think that need is done, man. Look how many games. What you said?
Pointed out though. I mean, when Lonzo was done last year, they didn't give him the ball.
Yeah,
they kept bringing other people in.
Yeah.
Pat Bev didn't. Since picking him up didn't make sense to me, but it ain't much to say about this signing right here.
That's not much. We could definitely move on. So Lakers guys, I'm gonna let you guys go first. Taurean Prince signing a 1-year, $4.5 million contract with the Lakers. Guys, thoughts on that?
I'll let you go first, Ryan.
He's coming from Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
It makes sense because he can shoot a little bit, but this is a good little pickup, I guess. But I got much more to say about that. It's a good little pickup. He can shoot the ball, play a little bit of defense. So that's all I can really say about him. But I'll let Steve go ahead.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're a team that doesn't have a ton of cap space to work with. You already know you got to re-sign Austin Reeves. You got to bring Macho back. You might, decide to bring Russell back. So you don't have a ton of space to work with. Getting a guy who can shoot and give you a little bit on defense on a 1-year, $4.5 million deal, I think it makes sense.
I don't want Russell back, though. I don't want Russell back.
I pretty much have to agree with Steven. It's a guy that's gonna, give you depth on the bench. He scored 9.1 points last year. It's a depth guy, and that's what the Lakers need. And we saw how depleted the depth was when the Nuggets swept them in the playoffs, and that's what they're trying to prove on to add more depth. And I agree that Russell Westbrook is definitely not going to be back.
No, they're talking about Brian Russell.
Right.
D'Lo. D'Lo,
yeah. I don't want him back.
D'Angelo Russell, excuse me.
Yeah. Either way, I think he's not going to be back either.
Bricks, he's construction company. All them bricks. This.
Well, Cool and I had a conversation about D'Lo where he actually played really well when LeBron was out. The problem was when LeBron came back, like it always is a problem with LeBron, is you get guys who get outside of their thing. If you were to have him coming off the bench, because I had the same conversation about Westbrook last year, you move him to the bench where he's not having to compete with LeBron on the floor, he would have been a lot better for you. And D'Lo's a better shooter than Westbrook is. So for the right amount of money and not asking him to play on the floor with LeBron, I would love to have D'Lo back. I don't know if that's reasonable, but
I'd rather have Dennis Schroeder back because I think makes more money sense for me personally.
As
Chicago has something to say about that.
As a non-Laker fan, Dennis Schroeder makes more sense than D'Angelo Russell because in the sense that he's a better shooter.
Well, the fact that he fits on the floor better with LeBron and AD too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get timid. That's
right.
So this move, I definitely don't think we need to discuss, but I'm just going to report it here. Josh Okogie, who you guys probably have maybe heard his name once or twice.
Who's that?
Has re-signed with the Phoenix Suns. He's a bench player for the Suns.
I'm just gonna say that movie is
And I'm gonna preface this by saying I really don't care. It might be great for the locker room, but I really don't care about this move, and it's a Denver Nuggets move. We reached an agreement with DeAndre Jordan. The financial terms haven't been communicated yet, but we reached a deal with DeAndre Jordan for him to come back to the Nuggets.
The only thing I can say about that is it's another veteran backup who didn't really play a whole lot, but again, he gave us playoff experience. We saw what he did in game 5, a couple of blocks, but I agree with you. There's not much we can say about DeAndre Jordan other than, it's a backup player and the fits right, and he's a good locker presence for the young guys for the Nuggets.
I mean, this is as close as you can get to a front office position on the bench.
Mm-hmm. He gonna be
that I agree with, because that's what Jeff Green was for us last year.
That dude basically working in the scouting department now.
Man, yeah, Jeff Green actually played though.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Jeff Green actually played. He older and he played.
Yeah, that's the difference between him and DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah. I was gonna say Jordan gonna be Udonis Haslam, but I guess I already said it. Ain't something I was gonna say. I guess I did say it. All right. So another bench piece that the Phoenix Suns have signed is Keita Bates-Diop from the San Antonio Spurs. I think we could definitely move past that one to another bench signing for Phoenix.
Yeah. And
they also signed Damian Lee to a 2-year contract with a player option for year 2. So some bench signing, some depth because Phoenix pretty much had none last year. And a big one here. Very interested. I'm going to wait to the end to give my take on it here. So Bruce Brown signed a 2-year, $45 million contract with the Indiana Pacers. Jordan, I'm going to let you go first, and I'm going to let y'all go, and then I'll give y'all guys my thoughts on this one last.
I am not surprised that he took the money and run. I mean, he's going to be a bench player for the Pacers, but how could you turn down that money? I think the Nuggets could only offer him like $12 million, and he's going there for, almost double that. I mean, you can't argue that. The guy's a great 3-point shooter, as we saw with the Nuggets. He's going to help that team. The Nuggets didn't really need him because we have so much depth. Am I going to miss him? Sure, I'm going to miss him off the bench, but either way, it's just another depth guy for the Pacers as they're trying to build their championship window, especially in that tough East. I got no problem with Bruce Brown going to Indiana. He got the ring, he took the money and ran.
I also want to point out the second year of the contract is a team option, so it's technically a 1-year deal with a team option for the second year.
So basically, they signed with the Nuggets.
No, the second year of the Nuggets was a player option.
Right, I know. I'm just saying there's an option in the contract. Yeah. That's all I meant by that. Didn't mean that it was a player, but yeah, that's a team option, which is different because they can keep him.
Rod, what about you, sir?
I'm not surprised. Get that bag. You know what I mean? Get that bag.
Steven, any thoughts?
Look, great player, great energy guy. Under any other circumstance would be a good signing. But one side of this made a great decision, the other one not so much. Bruce Brown, super smart.
Yeah.
Indiana, we talked about people overpaying. Well, congratulations, because you did not just tiptoe to the line. You got a running start and leaped over it.
So I heard this, right? And I said, my first comments was, if you got offered 2 years, $45 million, and you don't sign that contract, you should be slapped by everybody that walk past you. You're a bench player getting a 2-year, $45 million contract, even though 1 year is a team option. We know what Bruce Brown's going to do. Basically, they made sure that even if he has another great season for them, that he can't run back out in free agency and leave after 1 year, right? So the option is the team option. If he doesn't live up to the expectations or doesn't produce the way that they want, they can cut bait, $22.5 million, excuse me. But, I mean, it's still a lot for a guy that's been a role player. Now, I mean, if I'm paying somebody this amount of money, they're going to be starting on my team. You know what I'm saying? You're going to start at small forward, shooting guard somewhere. You're going to be starting somewhere. if I'm giving you, 2 years, $45 million.
For reference, we talked about the Kyle Kuzma deal earlier, $25 million a year. You're only paying him $2.5 million less than Kyle Kuzma making.
It's a shorter deal, but you're accurate in the per year amount, and that's crazy because it may be more money out there for him in 2 years. So kudos to him. Appreciate you helping us get a championship. But you did say show you the money, and the Pacers showed you the money.
He found it.
Now, I will say this also. The next guy on our list took this same route. Get in the bag. But where is the ability to compete for championships at? Now, Bruce Brown already has one. So if he don't get another one the rest of his career, it don't matter. If I was him at this point, truly, I would just be a mercenary where the bag at. And that's what I think he's doing. But on to the next deal. Jeremy Grant, 5-year, $160 million contract with the Portland Trail Blazers. All I can say is, what in the bejesus was you thinking for?
We know Portland's not going to contend for a title anytime soon. So, yeah, what is he thinking? He got paid. That's all he's thinking.
Oh, man. I mean, Jeremy Grant, just like Stig just said, Jeremy Grant is crip walking, dancing, whatever he's doing, all the way to the bank to sign this contract and get that money in the bank. This is crazy. 5 years, $160 million.
Well, my question is, what is Portland going to do? I mean, what are they going to do with Damian Lillard? Where are they building a championship team?
Listen, Jordan, I'm going to tell you, I asked somebody earlier today this question, and I want to see what y'all answer is. How much longer before we can actually charge the Portland Trail Blazers with abduction and kidnapping of Damian Lillard?
It's got to be coming soon. I mean, the thing is Damian doesn't really want to stay, but yet they're making him stay. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I feel like he's been asking to leave for like years.
At least the last 3.
And they won't let him go.
No. Because they know he's a franchise player. That's the only reason. They don't want – if they cut bait, then who's your star player there? Who are the fans going to come and see? That's the only reason.
Apparently, Mr. $30 million a year.
I think the thing, though, is, too, he hasn't been aggressively asking. Damian Lillard has. Like, he's been kind of sneak asking. He's been passive-aggressively asking. When you want out, bro, let me tell you something, Dame Time. When you want out, bro, you just got to say, look, go in the media and just say, I want out. Stop the tap dancing around. I know you talk about being a Portland Trail Blazer for life and all that, where you wasting yourself away. Every year you play there, you're just wasting away. Go somewhere where you can have an opportunity to help a team win, bro. And that's not going to be Portland. They're not going to win. They're giving Jeremy Grant $160 million for 5 years. You think about that. If you're Damian Lillard and you're sitting in that building or you're sitting at home and you're seeing him get this cat 5-year deal for $160 million, I'm picking up my phone. I'm talking to my agent. Like, bro, you better get something done.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? He's doing it. You know what I mean? Jay-Z had a famous line. I'm doing what they did to the Cold Crush. Jeremy Grant doing what his uncle and his dad didn't do. Get that bag. So I appreciate it. Get that money, man.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm not knocking Jeremy Grant at all. I'm just saying, you already got the bag secured. You got the contract. Now, make them trade you somewhere where you can have a chance to win.
I don't think he wants to, though. He's stuck. You know what I mean? He's stuck in the area that doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
Really? Or is that what he says to the public?
I think that's what he says. He portrays that. Oh, I don't want to team up with nobody. You're not going to win nothing. You know what I mean? You got to have an organization to back you to win something, and he doesn't have it.
He wants out of Portland. He's afraid he's going to upset the fans, and that they're going to turn on him because he wants to be liked by everybody.
Well, you can't have both. You can't have both. Either you want to win.
That's what he wants, though. A lot of people, they saw what happened to LeBron when he went to Miami and they got shook by it.
And look at KD. They all do it. So, you know what I mean? It's...
KD's a whole different story, sir. That's...
Oh, yeah.
We got a whole episode about KD and his...
Black China Durant. That's what I call him. Black China Durant. That's what I call him.
we could do a whole dad blame everything on Kevin Durant. Right. On a different phase of his career, we could do like 5 episodes.
He said
Just on Kevin Durant.
This week
parter,
we're talking about seasons 2 through 3.
This week we gonna talk about when he ran off on his boy Russ.
Oh man.
You know, so that's
It was a good
something
move.
we could definitely talk about for a while. But yeah, I mean, it's a great move for Jeremy Grant. It's a good move for Portland if you're saying we're going to now jettison the big contract that Damian Lillard has and allow him to move on somewhere and have a chance to be a winner. That's my only thing.
Does he have a no trade clause in his contract or something?
No, he does not.
I don't believe so.
No, he does not. All right. So Lakers guys, you're not going to care about this at all, but I just want to name you. Troy Brown is agreed to a contract with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Wow.
I care about this about as much as you care about that DeAndre Jordan news.
Yeah, moving along, moving right along. Kristaps Porzingis and the Boston Celtics are finalizing a 2-year, $60 million extension now that he's been traded from Washington. What do you guys think about the 2-year, $60 million? So Kristaps Porzingis is getting $30 million a year from the Boston Celtics.
He has $30 million talent with $2.5 million needs.
I would agree with that. I mean, we know what he can do when he's healthy, but he hasn't been healthy. And Boston, as we saw, they got knocked off in the Eastern Conference Finals. They want to get back to the NBA Finals. At first I thought this was at least a good move on Boston's part to get back to the NBA championship or NBA Finals. But what Steven said makes a lot of sense. He does not have a lot of lot left in those legs.
Yeah, the injuries are the concern.
It's like somebody putting Chick-fil-A on a plate and telling you it's not Chick-fil-A. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you give him this Kristaps Porzingis this much money?
Now hold on, Rob. We're not gonna be on here defecating on Chick-fil-A, disrespecting Chick-fil-A, sir.
That
is tomfoolery. That is haberdashery. We don't do that around here, sir.
You could have got something better than this, man.
I'm just saying, Chick-fil-A on the same level as Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah,
that's Hardee's. That's a Hardee's chicken sandwich.
Okay, a Hardee's
Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
Matter of fact, McDonald's chicken sandwich. Then
what this is telling somebody that don't know no better that you got in Chick-fil-A on Sunday.
Yeah,
that's what.
Yeah, because you took a Hardee's wrap, you took a Chick-fil-A wrapper and slid in a Hardee's sandwich on Sunday and said, "Here go your Chick-fil-A."
Yeah, that sounds better. That sounds better. But I just think, how do you put Williams and him in the lineup together? How do you put those two together?
It's a lot of long, weak playing. This is going to be happening in those situations. And the other thing about Porzingis, a lot of people talk about him being like a rim protector and a guy that's going to bang and stuff. I mean, I don't know what he did in Washington, because I got to be honest, I ain't really watched a lot of Washington because it was not interesting. I tried to watch a couple of Washington games, and I'll tell you where I ended up. The same place I ended up when I watched Utah games. And that's
Come on, man.
I'm sorry. I mean, that's not a brand of basketball that can hold my attention and keep me awake. It's just not.
I like the big fella down there, Cody. I like that center guy, Cody something. Forgot his name. The big.
I probably didn't see him play long enough because, like I say, certain teams just.
I don't know if his prime was wasted in Dallas. I think
that's all I'm saying. But any other thoughts on Porzingis, guys?
It sounds like he's gonna be a first, a playoff exit real quick. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. If that happens, they're probably looking for a coach, and then you still got to worry about paying Jaylen Brown after this year. So
maybe Sam Cassell get a chance as a head coach. Maybe
the only thing
I'd be fine with that.
Here's the only positive I'm going to say about this deal. It's only 2 years, so at least you didn't saddle yourself with a contract like this for 4 or 5 seasons. That's the only positive I can say.
Hopefully, Boston gets a player option slid up in here too. for year 2.
But they could have got They could have got a lot of players for Jaylen Brown.
As a Lakers
they
fan,
don't
just
want
help
to
us
trade
to
him.
do anything smart.
They don't want to trade.
But
Jaylen
we already said what Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is. We seen the finals. It just doesn't work.
Doesn't matter if it works to us or not. They don't seem like they want to trade this guy, because you could have did this before the draft, right? You could have did sign and trade to get several different assets. They didn't do it. So it doesn't feel like they want to trade him. Maybe if things aren't working out, maybe it's a move that they revisit before the trade deadline, but it doesn't seem like they want to do anything with him.
So by the way, I believe Dan Gilbert had a comment in relation to Porzingis.
Man, let me look at that. So a couple of things he said here. Thanks for tuning in, Dan. He said Cuban crazy in regards to Kyrie Irving. Absolutely. And then he also said his prime was wasted in Dallas. I don't think he had a prime because his knees were gone after like one season. But I guess what you could consider his quote unquote prime, I guess, was in Dallas. But playing with Lucky Donkey, as I like to call him, will do that to you. It happens when you play with Lucky Donkey.
You ain't gonna talk about Baby Bird like that, man.
That is no baby bird, sir. That is no baby bird.
That's my mama's bird, man. Come on, man.
First you gonna insult Chick-fil-A, then you gonna insult Larry Bird. Just put all the disrespect over there, man.
Haberdashery is going on.
That's what they call him. That's what they call him, Baby Bird. All the
Who calls him that?
Three-letter words. 3-letter words, and
whoever calls him that, stop the cap. Do not fix your mouth to say Larry Joe Bird in the same anything with Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic hasn't showed up in shape 1 year yet as an NBA player. He come in every year fat. That's his dedication to basketball.
We got a comment for you, Rod.
And then you got Kyrita Herbal Tea on there as well. And then Rob, this is for you. I'm a Mavs fan, and that's crazy talk to put Bird in the same sentence. So whoever they are that you're talking about, they need to stop the cap and whatever illegal substances they are ingesting, inhaling, sniffing, snorting, drinking, whatever, they need to put them down.
The only way I'm going to accept even a little bit of somebody making a comment like that is if they share DNA with that dude.
If his mama come out and say, Baby Bird, Miss Doncic, stop your capping.
Oh, man.
That's what's real. He says maybe they were talking about Dirk. You got it confused. That could possibly happen.
What are you talking about? Lil Dirk? Or are you talking about Dirk Nowitzki? What are you talking about?
You talking about Dirk Nowitzki?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe you got misunderstood. That's what they were talking about. Because if you're saying that was I don't know about that one. Like I say, somebody's on some wild substances. So another deal for the Denver Nuggets. So one that I like. Reggie Jackson re-signed 2 years, $10.25 million. Second year's a player option. I like that deal. What about you, Jordan?
I actually don't mind. It's another depth guy, another veteran depth guy, and we didn't overpay for him. So you said it was a player option for the second year, just like Bruce Brown. I mean, I know he's not the same type of player, but I think it's smart by the Nuggets saying, okay, prove it 1 year, upcoming year, and if we don't like you, we can, cut bait with you or have him.
A player. Yeah, this is a player option.
Right.
So he didn't have a chance.
Yeah, him. I should say he can cut bait, depending on how he plays. If he obviously improves his number, he can do what Bruce Brown does and leave. So I got no problem with this. It's essentially a 1 year deal to prove it. And we saw what Bruce Brown did. He proved it, then declined the player option. And of course, he got paid in the open market. So that's what he's thinking. I got no problem with it.
Yeah, and then also he's going to get, I think, more time because remember last year, one of the things that made Bruce Brown so appealing to us and why he got that money got was his ability to play multiple positions. So now with him gone, secondary ball handler is probably going to be Reggie Jackson. So, he's going to get an opportunity, I think, to play more minutes in a more meaningful time with Denver this year than he got last year. Rod or Steven, any comments or any thoughts on that?
No, I have a question though. The man with the military cut, the little like Chris Mullin's son, is he gonna get a bigger role next year? Because he was killing them. He was killing Miami. That wing y'all had.
I assume you're talking about Christian Brown.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's
Christian
what I'm talking
Brown. Christian
Yeah,
Brown.
Christian Brown should see more time. I mean, he proved that he deserves it.
It depends on if he shows intellect and understanding of the different situations. I mean, he didn't have a big role. Like he had a big game, but he didn't have a big role. Like he wasn't asked to do a lot. Got out there when the double team came, make your shots, make your dunks. Made a couple of shots one game. I mean, I'm not knocking him, but I'm just saying. I feel like he's going to get more handed to him because I feel like the coach loves him.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike Malone definitely loves the kid.
But he needs to earn it. And I don't think he did enough in the playoffs to earn more minutes.
Okay.
Maybe consistently what he was getting. But there's minutes there now. So if he can step up, hey, we'll see.
I think, honestly, it's a good deal with Christian Brown because he's cheaper than Bruce Brown. The question, like Cool said, can he improve his game? Can he step up? That's the only question I have. I liked what he did in the playoffs, but that was just a sample size. It was 1 or 2 games where he played well, not an entire series. So can he do it for an 82-game season is my only question because I want to see him improve.
Can I see 60 good games?
It was really just like you said, Jordan. It was a couple of good games in that series because I remember the series before that. Me and Cool would be talking, and he's like, "Why is this dude in the game?"
Exactly.
Why is he on the floor?
That's why I say earn the minutes.
Earn the minutes.
Earn the minutes. But a next move, Nickeil Alexander-Walker agreed to a 2-year deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not going to ask, does anybody want to talk about that? Because I don't think either one of you care, and I know I don't, and I don't think Jordan does either. So on to the next one. Javon Carter and the Bulls agreed to terms on a 3-year, $20 million contract. What are you guys' thoughts on Javon Carter? And in case you don't remember the name, he's a little bald head dude that played backup point guard for the Bucks last year.
Yeah, this is a guy that I would have actually liked him to LA. I know there was some rumors about us maybe being interested in him. I thought he would have been a good signing for us. So I think it makes sense. It's only 3 years, $20 million. It's really not costing them a lot of money. I think it's a good move. Like this is how you pay your backups instead of 22.5. Just saying.
So again, we'll go back to my earlier comment. Why did you bring back another point guard and then go sign this dude to be your backup who actually is a good, solid second team dude and a guy that you could have start from time to time?
Yep.
Why? I got questions, Chicago. I have questions.
Yes, that's fair. From that standpoint, that is fair.
Rod or Jordan, you guys have any other thoughts on Javon Carter?
No, I think Steven hit it on the head with my thoughts, really.
He had to really tell me who it was. I had to really think about it. I said, man, bald headed guy. Nah, I got it. Right. Well,
He do look a little bit like Darvin Ham, really.
He do look like he could be his long-lost son or something.
So another one that I don't think we're going to talk a lot about here is Chimizi Mitu, and the Phoenix Suns have agreed to a contract.
I mean, apparently, even the reporting didn't want to talk too much about it. They didn't even tell you how many years, anything. Just
nothing.
They signed a deal. That's all y'all need to know.
Yeah, he signed a deal, bro. That's all you need to know. He signed a deal. All right, so we've got a couple of more here to discuss that have happened pretty recently. 1 second, I want to get to the bottom of this, the updated part, because while we've been talking, they've been snapping. The Lakers boys, y'all gonna be happy. So let's see. I'm literally still getting back to the stuff. It's crazy. It's been a lot of moves happening. All right. Let's see. Some of these we did talk about. Here we go. All right. So Georges Niang and the Cleveland Cavaliers agreed to terms on a 3-year, $26 million contract. Just shooting. Cleveland needed shooting, and he brings that to them.
Yeah.
You guys have any thoughts on that?
Nope.
No.
Yeah. Even Roddy got nothing to say on that one. Kyrie officially resigns with the Mavs. So great job. 3 years, 126 million. We did talk about it a little bit earlier, but and the third year is a player option. So he's probably going to opt out after 2 years and then rob Dallas of some more money. I mean, get a new contract. Excuse me.
So I'm just gonna throw this out real quick, right? Like, this is not a good look for Dallas in terms of the fit. They're never going to win anything with those two guys grouped together. But at this point, you know two things probably true, right? Number one is Luka signed off on this. They said they wanted to play together. And what was your alternative? Did you let him walk? Because who else were you going to bring in and pair with Luka? Because if you let Kyrie walk and you make no real attempt to put somebody else next to him, then Luka's not re-signing.
That's true.
So they basically were bent over and had no choice.
Dang, bent over. Jesus Christ.
If I had to have Kyrie Irving on my team to keep a guy that ball hogs the whole game, I'm just gonna stop right there and say I feel you, Steve. I feel you.
But again, what you gonna do? You gonna let them both walk and just start over?
Then they would completely rebuild. They would tear it down and rebuild.
You're not gonna do anything with them.
They're not, but they at least have to pretend like they might do something.
I mean, we saw how well it worked last year. It didn't really work very well.
It's not gonna work well this year either.
No, it's not.
Or next year or after that.
No.
Or any other year.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like the Mavs just look like an AAU team. You know what I mean? With 2 stars, and they just don't got no chemistry, and they just jacking shots up. And if it lands, it lands. That's what it looks like, man. I see Jason Kidd getting fired. He might get fired this in the middle of the season.
My thing is, if you're gonna fire Jason Kidd with what you're giving him, you should fire yourself too. That's just my thoughts.
We can't be mad that ran to Indiana. I'm proud of him. He got away from that. I forgot the guy's name.
Everybody got to get away from the mess.
They should have. For what they just paid Kyrie, they could have just kept Bronson.
They probably should have.
Yeah.
I don't think Brunson wanted to be there. I keep telling you, I don't believe Brunson. Brunson is flourishing on his own team. He's the guy.
Listen,
why would he would have wanted to?
Yeah. But if they would have given him that money, he probably would have stayed.
But you got to remember, his dad got bread too. His family got bread, so he ain't one of these cats that ain't grow up with nothing. So
2.0 Mike Bibby. Dad got money. You got.
All right, so Chris Middleton agreed to terms on a 3-year, $102 million contract with the Milwaukee Bucks to re-sign. Not surprised. That was my anticipated outcome all along. Any thoughts from either one of you guys?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So Jakob Puddle, the center for the Toronto Raptors, agrees to terms on a 4-year, $80 million contract to stay with Toronto.
Next.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I got to say.
I got one comment for this one. Jakob likes going to Montreal. That's what that is. Cam Johnson, we did talk about the qualifying offer earlier. He actually agreed to terms on a new 4-year, $108 million contract with the Brooklyn Nets. So he got his bag, and this is Mikal Bridges' homie. That's his road dog, his rolling partner. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
You guys have any thoughts?
No, you just hit it on the head. Cool.
Who wants to go to Nets? Who want to go to Brooklyn?
Hey, if you're getting paid that much money, you might as well.
I'm saying I'm talking about a big name. Who else want to?
Nobody at this point. Because
After what happened last time they tried, obviously anybody wanted to go. So here's an interesting move. So Joe Ingles, formerly of the same Milwaukee Bucks that we were talking about a few minutes ago, has signed a deal to go to the Orlando Magic for 2 years, $22 million.
I don't understand that move. I mean, Joe Ingles is a good defensive player, but where's Orlando going? They're not going to be competitive too. I don't understand that move at all.
I mean, if you look at this, it's only $11 million a year, right? So to me, this screams you bring in a guy who's been on a championship roster that knows what it takes to win, to come in and help build the character of that locker room. That's really what you're doing this for.
I would want more than $11 million for a year for 2 years to go to Orlando for that.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is this is one of the few times that the player got underpaid.
Exactly. That's exactly what he's saying.
That's
I agree with him.
it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. But
And this next move, I'll put out there, but I'm sure no one will really care about this move either. Trey Jones has agreed to a 2-year, $20 million contract extension with the San Antonio Spurs.
Next.
you know what, man? There are people that care about this. They all live in San Antonio, and none of them are on this call, so we need to move on.
So here's one that Rod's not going to yell next when it happens. So you guys ready? You ready?
I mean, I already know what it is, but
The Laker guys. Gabe Vincent, 3-year, $33 million contract with the Los Angeles Lakers.
How much you said again?
3 years, $33 million. So theoretically, $11 million a year.
Oh, I like that. I like his game. I like this move.
And that's a huge pay raise for him.
I like that move.
it's a good deal for him because it's a huge pay raise, but it's also not an outrageous deal by any means. And he's a good fit. I like it.
I got nothing to add to what these guys.
Hey, what about poor Miami though, man? What is Miami picking up?
They got to clear up some cap space for Dame Dollar.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I wouldn't worry about Miami. They'll be fine.
These guys were undrafted guys anyway.
Exactly.
They got to free up cap space to trade for James Harden.
So Yuta Watanabe
Who?
is signing
exactly.
a 1-year deal with the Phoenix Suns. He was formerly a Brooklyn Nets player. He's a Asian American player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, more depth for the Suns.
Exactly. That's all that is.
Yeah. Shake Milton leaves the 76ers and signs a 2-year, $10 million contract with the Timberwolves. So I got to say,
I like Shake's
I'm not
game.
surprised.
I
I'm
like
not
Shake's
surprised
game.
that Shake left because Joel Embiid disrespected everybody on their roster not named James Harden. And I don't know how you had an audacity to walk back into that locker room and try to be the leader in that locker room after you threw the whole team under the bus because you played like trash and your team lost. So I don't blame Shake Milton for saying, you know what, man, I'm going to get the same amount of money anywhere. Let me go somewhere else because this dude's a clown and I'm not playing with him anymore because he's going to sit there and try to put the onus on me. I'm a dude on the end of the bench. I play some games I don't. You supposed to be the star and you don't show up.
Right.
I don't blame him for leaving.
No, I don't either.
He could have got this money in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The fact that if you actually took the same amount of money you could have easily gotten to stay in Philadelphia and you went to Minnesota of all places.
Minnesota.
That to me speaks volumes about that locker room.
I was just about to say the same thing, Steven.
He grabbed Dorothy and go see the Grand Wizard and get a heart because Embiid likes it.
He said
likes
he does
that
not
dog.
trust the process.
No, and like you said, that locker room is all messed up now with what Joel Embiid said. So why not leave?
The irony is,
And get rid of that Tobias Harris contract too. That's a terrible contract.
look, the irony is he's
Oh,
going
my
to
God.
the worst locker room.
He is.
J. Cole. Great value
But at
J.
least-
Cole kill.
But at least they don't at least in that locker room they don't blame the rest of the team and say only 2 people perform. Right? They just punch each other. So just make sure you got your dukes up, you good. So
That's why they call him Shake, sir. That's why they call him Shake.
Yep. Shake. So Herb Jones agreed to a 4-year, $54 million contract with the New Orleans Pelicans. I like the move. I like Herb Jones. He's crafty. He's a dog. Doesn't have the most talent in the world, but not saying he's not talented, but he's not like an all-star talent. But he's a real good glue guy, and he just plays hard and he does what he's supposed to do. So I like the Pelicans making this move, and I was really questioning when they did not offer him, but I guess they said, well, no, we're just not going to give you that little bit of money, and we're just going to go ahead and work out a long-term deal with you. Because I mean, you got to have other guys ready. Because one dude, he's more worried about his extracurricular activities than playing basketball.
Gumbo and buns.
Yeah, because what's that, like 17.5 mil? That's not too bad for what
all right, so a couple more here. So Josh Richardson agrees to a 2-year contract with the Miami Heat. Definitely next. Yeah. Kevin Love agreed to a 2-year contract with a player option for the 2nd year to stay with Miami.
Doesn't surprise me. We saw what he did in the with them last year, so that played well. Obviously, in the finals, played okay, but yeah, he's staying there. Just makes a lot of sense.
So there's a lot of other moves here, guys. Well, a couple more here before we'll close after these. So Rui Hachimura has agreed to a 3-year, $51 million contract to stay with the Los Angeles Lakers. How y'all feeling, Lakers guys?
I love it, man.
If I could speak Japanese, I would.
Jordan, do you have any thoughts?
I got nothing.
It's a good move for the Los Angeles Lakers. Rui showed that he could be a guy that can do a lot of different things, and under the tutelage of LeBron James, he really improved.
We also got to give some praise to Phil Handy. He's been helping him. You can see him on the sideline. Talking to him.
Also, like Jen said back in the day, you better learn Chinese. Put it out there as well. So Julian Champagne re-signs with the Spurs. Death piece. Need to waste, death piece. We can move on. Another signing for y'all. We don't have the financials yet, but Cam Reddish has signed a 2-year contract with the Los Angeles Lakers.
I like that move too.
Where was he? Where was his last spot he was at? I don't remember. Phoenix.
Was it Phoenix?
It's a good move to add depth for the Lakers for sure.
Was it Phoenix?
I thought it was Portland.
It was Portland. My bad.
Yeah, I thought it was Portland as well. But
no. So what happened was the jersey they have for him is the one that says PDX. So the D is kind of like, I saw P. I really saw PX. I was like Phoenix, and I was like, wait a minute.
No.
Yeah, Portland. And then this is a move who our guy Coach Dante that wasn't able to make it this week because he's doing a draft special. Who will love Fred VanVleet. 3-year, $130 million contract with the Houston Rockets. So now that's not
a bad move. That's not a bad move.
It's not.
And then you got a guy to teach him that knows how to ball. I think it's a great move for the Rockets.
It is. The Rockets are building, and VanVleet is just going to help that young core.
And the fact that this dude got, what's that, about $40 million a year, and you are only signing a 3-year deal, which means you can re-up again in 3 years. Yo, that's a good look. It works for both sides.
It's about $43 million a year.
I think I'm like, you think Ume's influencing these pickups, or you think it's all the GM?
I mean, if I'm Ime Udoka, this is the team you want me to coach. I'm Ime Udoka. I ain't saying you got to go get everybody I want, but if you're gonna bring somebody in, we need to have a conversation. I should be able to give you a wish list and say, I would like these guys to come here.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't do that, I don't need to be coaching your team.
I'm gonna say this: it's a better deal than bringing James Harden back.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's definitely solidifies the fact that James won't be able to go to his favorite watering holes in Houston this coming season.
Jesus.
unless it's just the time that he visits as a player.
He can still go when they play the
on a regular
Rockets.
basis. Yeah, he can go when they play the Rockets, but he won't be able to visit on a weekly or bi-weekly or tri-weekly basis.
Tri-weekly. That's crazy.
Yes, sir. Hey, you can call him James the Rain Man. We be in Philly.
This dude said tri-weekly. Like, bro, that's like half the week.
Hey, tri-weekly. Hey, he's trying to go as much as he can weekly. Tri-weekly. So yeah, a lot of more deals will definitely be on the horizon. So be on the lookout for that. We were going to do a little WNBA discussion, but then once all these deals and things happen, it's kind of like can't do everything in 1 week. So I'll just simply say real quick about WNBA. There's been a lot of great games, a lot of ups and downs so far throughout the season. Commissioner's Cup is coming. So be on the lookout for the teams that will be doing that, and that will be the best team in the East versus the best team in the West for the different divisions for the WNBA, as well as their All-Star game is going to be coming up. They're starting to get an idea of who's going to be the starters, the other positions on the teams, and who's going to fill those. We'll definitely dive into that a little bit on next week's episode. But, gentlemen, we went like pretty much an hour and a half for the show tonight. So a little extended edition. A lot of good things happening. So, great to see, great to do. So we'll start with our guest tonight, Rod, and we want to shout him out for coming on and chopping it up with us. Rod, tell the people where they would be able to find you.
You can find me on YouTube, Rod Uncensored Network on YouTube. Also, my IG is RodPod21. You can find me on there. I don't do Twitter. You can find me there. But hey, cool. Once Angela Reese joined the WNBA, I'm gonna be watching on the regular. You know what I mean?
I'm not even gonna comment on that. Thanks, Rod. Jordan, what about you? Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at SportsScoop1. I have a blog that I write. Check that out at sports-scoop.com.
All right. Steven, what about you, man?
Well, y'all can find me here every Friday night. Can't tell you where else you're going to be able to find me just yet. But next week, got an announcement for y'all, maybe.
Do I really want to go over the whole list here? We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna say you can let's see what you can follow me. Let's do that this week. So you can follow me Facebook, Cool McCain, Twitter at Cool McCain. You can also catch me on Instagram at Cool_McCain, and TikTok, Cool McCain on there as well. I'm gonna definitely be doing a little bit more on my TikTok moving forward. As well as my IG. So definitely make sure you are checking me out on those avenues and platforms. Make things fun. Unlike Rod, I do Twitter. So yeah, give me a follow. About once every 2 or 3 weeks, I post something blasphemous just to see if people are watching or not. It's kind of fun when people respond. But yeah, it's pretty much it for the show today, guys. Thanks everyone for coming in. And does anyone have any last words before we get up out of here for the week?
The Kings gonna take the throne next season. The Kings gonna take the throne next season.
Not if we have something to say about it.
So, you saying Sacramento gonna win next year?
LA Kings?
That's interesting.
Oh, you know what I mean? New King James version. You know what I'm talking about.
No, the Kings have something to say about that.
Hey man, a lot of rumors. People are saying that LeBron might get traded back to Cleveland. A whole lot of different, people have been saying that there's a possibility that may happen.
For who?
Y'all spend a lot of money here in free agency, so somebody must be getting ready to go somewhere.
Maybe Anthony Davis.
I'm about to say, your boy AD is up for an extension, so y'all probably gonna extend him because he's the MVP for the 70 games he does play.
Mr. Glass, I don't think so, but that's another story.
LeBron ain't going nowhere yet, man.
Come on, man.
They know they got to go ahead and just go with what they got right now. They got to try to build around and try to make a push.
All right. And as for me, just remember, champs.
47
Everybody else-
years.
Everybody
Hey.
else is trying to get there.
47
Get
years.
there.
Hey, it doesn't matter. We still won it. We're still number one. It doesn't matter how long it took us.
Just like the
Rod.
Eagles, 80 years. But that's another
Hey,
story.
Rod,
That's another
Rod,
story.
I would advise you to not talk football right now for one.
Okay.
And I would also advise you to remember what happened the last time you ran up against the Denver Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, I'm just gonna take a little bit more classy route. I'm just gonna say, you guys are the top of the mountain right now. Congratulations on that. I'll sit over here with our 17 NBA championships and cry myself to sleep.
It's just,
Well,
hey, Steve, but it's like an ugly woman that finally gets married. You know what I mean? She always want to show the ring off.
But I mean, you still gotta be happy for it, though. You know, what I'm
You
saying?
still gotta be happy for it.
Hey, if the ugly woman get to come up like that, all them pretty women that nobody don't want still be hating.
Just be
And
happy.
I feel like we talk to some pretty women who hate because nobody don't want them because they petty. They don't bring no peace to the house.
Listen, Rod, don't be a Hardee's chicken sandwich and Chick-fil-A wrapper on Sunday, sir. Don't do that.
It's too late for Rod. Rod is already downgraded to a what's that place called? Crunchies. He's a Crunchies chicken sandwich.
Oh man, I think I'm more like a Publix chicken sandwich, but
No. You're definitely not like
Publix.
No.
You know what I mean? Jack in the Box. Jack in the
man,
Box.
Maybe Jack in the Box. You can be Jack in the Box if you want.
Yeah, cause listen, you talk about some Publix. Like, bro, I'm starting to wonder about your taste buds, man. Like,
I like Publix.
Did you
Listen,
evolve
I'd
something
rather be-
like taste
I'd rather
bud
be a
active
Crunchies
as a
chicken
child or
sandwich
something?
than a Jack in the Box. I'd rather be a Crunchies than Jack in the Box.
Some Zaxby's chicken, maybe.
Well, just like some of the things you be saying, Zaxby's will have you bubbling. So that could be a good one. Rod, the Zaxby's chicken sandwich.
Oh,
I can rock with that.
Oh man.
The Piggly Wiggly.
Not the Piggly Wiggly.
Oh man, that's worse
They
than
even have-
Don's chicken.
Hey, do they even have like an actual chicken sandwich, or is it just a chicken breast or a thigh between two pieces of white bread?
It might be a drumstick.
As long as they ain't no wing, we good. Because they put a wing, I'm like, bro, just stop your nonsense. But ladies and gentlemen, we can go off the rails and keep this diatribe going. We're gonna go ahead and end things for tonight. And we're gonna see y'all back next week. And maybe one of these days when we just want to hear about the Lakers also, we'll just have Rod come on and tell us all about the Lakers.
Or we could do a LeBron history, show.
We definitely won't be doing that.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we won't be doing that.
Okay.
If you do that, you'll get muted. So yeah, let's not do that.
Shooting for the stars. Peacock.
We'll bring his
You go watch that. Go watch that.
For that one.
Yeah, go watch that with your with your cookie dough ice cream, your fresh chocolate chip cookies, and your favorite LeBron lover slippers on. Enjoy, sir.
They got a 2-3 on it and a 6 on it.
I believe they do, sir. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. But again, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all tuning in. Rod did really well. We only had a couple of LeBron mentions.
But I can't prepare. I can't prepare because I was blackballed in the YouTube streets. I said I can't get blackballed no more.
Well, see, man, you got to show up and you got to let people know that you ain't no game. Don't play with you.
Okay.
That's what you do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the third time, we up out of here. Appreciate y'all. Check us out next week. And hopefully we'll have Rob back in the comments with his LeBron and LA blasphemy, as always.